welcome to everyone. Hope you are enjoying the event, one of the most important events at Liferay. I'm Anderson, and I'm here with my colleagues Matheus, and André, to introduce to you the new Commerce Client extension for payment methods in Liferay, so OSGI-less transactions. The era of intricate OSGI portraits for custom payment methods in Liferay is over. The innovative Commerce Client extension offers a streamlined approach for developers. This session will delve into how the Commerce Client extensions simplifies customization for payment methods in Liferay. This flexibility caters to some specific kind of payment methods like offline, online redirect, and online standard. It consists as a standalone application that communicates with Liferay securely using OAuth2. This presentation will delve into the client extensions capabilities, showcase Spring Boot application, and providing practical guidance to the code and the other things. Before starting to understanding the new Commerce Client extension for payment methods in Liferay, I would like to overview some other status flows that we have in commerce. So the Liferay order engine has 6 main status: open, in progress, pending, processing, shipped, and completed. And the order engine will perform checks against each order status to ensure the correct order processing and to determine the next status to be applied to the order. So besides that, the main status that we have here, orders can be transitioned to 3 alternate status, like on hold, canceled, and partially shipped. Another can be put in on hold status when it's in any of the non-final status like pending, processing, and shipping, and other can be canceled when it's in any of the non-final status like pending, processing, and shipped as well. And where there are multiple items in our order that has been shipped yet, the order is transitioned to partially shipped. So the first status of an order is the open one. And when a product is added to the cart, the order gets this open status. So we create our order and gets the open status. During the checkout steps, the order remains in the open status until the order payment flow has been finished. And during this flow, the order changes to the pending status. And after that, the payment follows its own flow, and during this process, the order remains the pending status until the payment flow. And there are 3 main status of for payments in Liferay: so pending, authorized, and paid. When you finish the payment flow and have paid the order can be accepted and the status change to processing, and you will be able to continue with the shipment to complete the order. But, Matheus, to get this flow, we need a payment method for move forward.
Okay, man. Thank you for giving us this context. And it's all about like giving us and remember us a little bit about Liferay Commerce before we really starting to show you all the code. Liferay Commerce has a lot of tricky things and have a lot of pieces that we need to put together. As you might remember, I don't know how many of you has already worked with commerce, but of course we need to set channels, we need to set our products, we need to set some configurations, and we wanted like to remember you how the order works, how this channel configuration works, the payment methods available are, before we couldn't really start working on it, so we could like refresh our mind, oh, okay, this is where this client extension would take place. So as Anderson mentioned, we have the order, which takes place whenever like we put some product on our cart, and then we start, okay, let's pay this, and then it starts its flow, the payments start its own flow, it gets like authorized, and then okay. And how about payment? What are the available groups or the available possibilities to pay something in Liferay? Basically, we have three types of payment: offline, online standard, and online redirect. Here, we are gonna focus on the online standard. This is the one where the client extensions, the new client extensions are covering. This is the one where the client extension takes place. When you go to your channel and when you try to set up a payment method for your channel, you are gonna see some available out-of-the-box payment methods like PayPal, as you can see there, Authorize.net, Money Order, Mercanet. Those are available for you out of the box. But of course, we can imagine that you might have seen a situation where those available methods were not enough for your customer, for the project that you were working. So, okay, you had to customize something. You have to come up with something to make a new payment method available for this project or for your customer. What is the first thing that you have to do before coming to Devcon, before this talk, before this new era of client extension? I'm sure that you have run to OSGI. OSGI would be your first option to customize this, to extend this, and to create a new payment method. But now, the first place that I would recommend you to go to is Marketplace. I don't know how many of you have attended Kevin Leon's talk yesterday at the main stage, but he talked about it, the new Marketplace, how to publish your new apps into Marketplace, how to check it, how to download it, how to install it. But there are a few connectors there, there are a few actually applications there that you can leverage. And actually we have a PayPal one, we have another ones that you can leverage. So that would be the first place that I would recommend you to go to, because you might find something that would be useful for you, ready to go, ready to install, and that would be great. And we also want to encourage you to publish your new developments there. But of course, you might not find what you want there, and then you have something to do. And OSGI is not only a possibility, and it's not what we are recommending to you, because the things that you have learned from Ben Sterner presentation and Moment presentation yesterday at the main stage, we are going forward, we are going towards a new possibility and a new approach at Liferay with client extensions. And of course, we have a new way of customizing, of making it possible, a way of extending payment methods for Liferay, which is the payment integration client extensions. There are a microservice client extension, but there is focused on the commerce part of Liferay. Client extension, which is the definition for this client extension, it is a client extension to implement a new payment method detached from the application core. If we analyze the YAML file, which is the file that defines the client extension, we will see the ensemble block that says that we will get the from task from the boot jar, and then we will see basically the key of it. The key is what defines how it's gonna get registered into Liferay DXP. We will define a name for it that can be whatever we want. We will define the auth to application, external reference code, that's gonna be what we are gonna use to secure the requests that we are gonna make inside our client extension. And then we are gonna say that the payment integration type that we're gonna use is the online redirect, that is the type 3. It is in our documentation, this value. Those things are regarding shipment. Those are key pairs that we use regarding shipment. We are not gonna touch this now because we're not gonna work with shipment now, but we have this defined in our documentation when we're gonna arrive to that place. And the type of the client extension, in our case, commerce payment integration. And we are declaring altogether an OAuth 2 client extension to make it a new agent, because we need a scope for the Liferay headless admin workflow everything. That is a new agent that are gonna give the possibilities, that are gonna give the scope that we need inside our client extension, what we need. And now let's see a little bit of the code that we have. And I would like to tell something. We have a lot of code here. We're gonna show a lot of things here. And you might have been thinking, okay, but if I'm working alone, if I'm starting something at home, where can I start? Where is my start point? Where can I find it? We do have, as again, Ben Turner and Moomin and other guys showed yesterday, a start point for all of our developers. We have in our public repo a workspace, a sample workspace that have an example of all of our client extensions. So if you go there, you are gonna find, as André is showing here, an example of our client extension. So if you go in workspaces, when the internet helps us, and then we are gonna see that you can find, yes, sample, Liferay sample workspace. It's below, yeah, this one. Yeah. And then client extensions, yeah. And then you have example of all of them. Yeah. So you can just clone this, and this is gonna be your start point. We have started from this. This is where we started the code that we're gonna show you today. So rest assured that this can be your start point. This workspace plus our documentation can be used for you to start your development at home, okay?
Thank you, Matheus.
Of course.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Okay, we are going to show you an integration of the Liferay Commerce with the Google Pay button. So the Google Pay button is kind of an integration with the Google Wallet. So I think everyone here maybe have the Google Wallet. It's a very popular solution to store credit cards, a lot of things, and it's easy to use to make payments. And then we integrated this Google Pay button in the Liferay Commerce. But I have to say that the Google Pay is not the gateway that are going to process your payment. We will have a gateway to do that. So the Google Pay is just like an intermediate between your user, the Google Wallet user, and this gateway. So for example, in this Google documentation, you can see that all the gateways that already is integrated to Google, and we have to choose one of these gateways like PayPal, Authorize.net. There's like 83 pages of gateways available, and once you integrate the Google Pay with this gateway, the gateway will process the payment and debit the credit from the user and credit to the store. Our demonstration here is just about the Google Pay. So we don't have a gateway. So we are using a sandbox environment for testing purposes. Then we kind of mock the gateway, like authorizing and making successful all the transactions just to see the Google Pay, the Google Wallet in action. So I'm going to demonstrate first the integration, and then I'm going to the code and show you guys how we did that. I'm going to log in our portal instance.
Are you in the right branch?
Sorry?
Are you in the right branch?
Yes, I'm the right branch. Okay, so we created this Dev Commerce store, and okay, it's a store based in the Minion site template. I think you guys know it's a site template that has already a bunch of products and configurations to try Liferay store. So I'm going to put some items in the cart. I'm going to check it out, select the shipping address, the shipping method. So here comes the payment option. This Devcon Google Pay Commerce Payment Integration. It's a long name, but it's that one that we created and deployed in the portal. It's a client extension. The order summary to the user review, and then we have another checkout step. This is the custom checkout step that adds the Google Pay button. So this button is running in another runtime in the client extension. And once we click here, all right, let me just remove the debug here. Sorry. Where's my Eclipse? All right. Because it's the mode debug, so the breakpoints out are there. Okay, and once I click in the Google Pay button, it will pull the user wallet. So for example, the user can choose what account he can use and choose the cards in the wallets that they have in order to make the payments. It's already integrated with the all Android ecosystem. So doesn't matter if you're in a desktop or in a mobile, it will open the Google Wallet for your device. And then the Google Pay, the Google API will create a transaction with your gateway. And then you just have to check this transaction with this gateway that the Google are going to inform you the transaction number, where you can authorize the payment and capture the payment. I'm going to show you that Liferay already have the controllers to do that in the backend side. And another thing that I have to say about the Google Pay, it's everything in the front end. So we just have to import the Google JavaScript API, and all the logic happens in the front end. But we know that everything in JavaScript is not secure. So when we are talking about payments, transactions, we have to make some backend verifications. So that comes the other class that I'm going to show you. But just for this example, I'm going to choose some of the payments. There are some configurations that you could pass to the Google integration tool. For example, the name of the store, the value. We send also the items in the cart. Once I choose pay, my order is already done, and I can go to the order details and see that it's processing. For example, if I go to the orders management, I can see this new order here, which is processing. So I enter in the order and I go to the payments tab, so I can see that my transaction was authorized, and I can go with the order status of the order.
André, just to add that in this case, for example, the Google Pay is very opinionated about how they need to present this. And we choose this in purpose because there, as you're going to see, there are two parts of it. The payment method, client extension, and as André showed you, the checkout step that we added into the out of the box, the default checkup stats that are the button that you click for that Google makes you to add that button there. So there are some payment providers that are very opinionated about how to make it, and we're gonna show you also the checkout customization client extension. But you might have like some payment integration, some payment method that you want to implement that doesn't have it, and that's okay. What you needed for the payment only is to develop the controllers that we're gonna have, like that we're gonna show you, like the refund one, the payment one, and André is gonna like show you in a bit. But just wanna add it that we added this extra checkout, this extra step, just like to show you the checkout client extension, and because like this payment method, which is Google, they are opinionated about how to add this extra button about the JavaScript thing, so we had to implement this.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the backend of the payment integration. So for example, here we can get some REST controllers that comes with the full payment integration for Liferay. And this is the REST controllers, the controllers that you are going to use to integrate with your gateway to make, for example, the authorization of the transaction. You have the capture of the transaction because we have to authorize the order and then capture the order. We have the cancel REST controller. For example, there are some cases that you have to cancel the purchase, the refund to back the value for the customer, and also other REST controllers to set up the payments and render the payment in some way, like to create another record in the database with the payment entry. I'm going to show you later, but all these REST controllers we can use in your front end part, which will be through the checkout step client extension. So this solution was built using two client extensions. First one is that one which is the payment integration, right? Which is a pretty standard payment integration for Liferay, and another client extension based on the custom checkout step. So this is a client extension where you can put another checkout step in the checkout process of the Liferay Commerce, and you can put everything, anything that you want out there. So we choose to put the Google Pay button.
And just to add one thing, and you can for the checkout step, you have all control to the screen, so you can change the style of the button as you want, and the window that will open when you try to see your wallet is all configurable.
Yeah, here for example, in the Google documentation, we can see there are some examples of how can you style your button, etc. So here I'm going to the client extension regarding the checkout step, because all the thing is in the front end to see the Google integration. So I'm going to open here the checkout step client extension, and then when you are using a checkout step, you are going to put all the static files in the assets folder. So this is a structure of the client extension, and by standard, Liferay will load this index.js, which should have a JavaScript function named commerce checkout step. This is the standard where the Liferay are going to load and execute this function when you have this new checkout step. For this example, I'm just loading the Google API JavaScript in order to render the button. So I'm loading this script directly from Google. Also, another standard is I getting the div element, the container, which this ID, which is the ID where the Liferay are going to renderize the things that you need in the center of the page in the new checkout step, for example. So what I am doing here is getting this container and creating another container inside this, which is named Google Pay button container. I'm also putting some result message to feedback the user regarding the status of the payment. And then I'm calling this on Google Pay loaded, which is in another JavaScript file, which is this Google Pay GS. And if you check out this function, where is it? On Google Pay loaded, it's just a matter of creating a new payment client from the Google JavaScript API, setting some configurations to this payment client. I don't need to go to details because, of course, there's a lot of things happen here, but just setting the environment as a test to use the sandbox and the test cards that I show you. But the most important thing regarding this is the callback for this payment client, calling this on payment authorized, and this on payment authorized, I am processing the payment, calling this other function processing the payment, which I will have two results, the success or the error, for example. But the core is in the process payments, where I get the OAuth 2 client using the Liferay JavaScript API. It's a very easy thing to do because I can just instantiate an OAuth 2 client, passing the OAuth ID that I have defined in my YAML file. So I can get the OAuth client for every client extension that I have. I don't have to be scoped to this client extension. So I get in the Liferay order using also the Liferay JavaScript API. We can use the Liferay JavaScript API to get a lot of context in Liferay. So it's very easy to use, and I get to the order using like this. Then I calling, for example, the endpoints that I've created in my client extension that I show you in the backend, like the render. For this payment integration, what we have to do is calling this render endpoint in the backend to get the payment URL. Once I have this payment URL, I fetch this payment URL, and the response that I will have is the page that I have to redirect the user. And once I fetch this URL, the payment URL, it's something in the backend of Liferay. It will process the authorize and the capture methods, the REST controllers. Liferay, the backend of Liferay, are going to call my client extensions through the backend for these specific controllers to make the authorization and the capture. The flow can change depending the type of integration we are using. Like Matheus mentioned, we have three types of payment integration. We are using the 31. We have one more, which is the 4, but all the flow is defined by the type of the payment integration that you are using. So for example, the render here, I can show you that is calling this method where I getting the payment URL using the Liferay headless API for this order ID that I just sent to my payload. So I building here the payment URL, and once I fetch this payment URL, it will call my authorize and my capture REST controller, also the setup payment, which will create the payment entry ID in my database. I can show you very quickly using the debug. I'm going to debug the application, and then I have to check it out and check it in to clear my sessions. So put it in the cart, check it out. Select the payment method, review order, And then, for example, when I click the button, process the payment, I don't know, can choose anyone. So I go to the Eclipse. So I can see that it's calling my render REST controller where I'm going to build my URL. Okay. And in this context, I receive a JSON object from the Liferay backend. And this JSON object, I will have several. No, where is this?
JSON. Click on JSON. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, yeah. All the properties that the Liferay backend services is passing to my method. I can see in the other methods. The setup controller, REST controller. So we can see here, for example, a lot of properties that I set up for my payments. In the control panel, for example, I can send here my API secret, my API key for the integration with my gateway, for example, the URL of my gateway. I can show you the configurations later, but let's finish this flow. So it's calling my authorized REST controller, and which I just put in some payment methods here. For example, if I go to my database, I can see that it created another record. This is for my last order, and this is for this new order. We can see that payment status it's 18, which means created, right? And here in the database, I'll also store the callback URL and the cancel URL. But the class PK primary key is the order ID, and the commerce payment entry ID is the payment itself. So right now, my payment entry ID is with the status 18. I'm going to change it to status 2 to authorize my transaction. So I release the checkpoints. If I go to the database, I can see that the status is 2 right now. And then I can, for example, here in the capture REST controller, I'm also changing the status of the order, because I want that my order comes with the processing instead of pending. Pending is the default order status after order is submitted. So I'm making a change in here to processing because I'm assuming that my payment was captured.
Mm-hmm. Just to add that this status, these numbers, what this means, those are all in our documentation, right? In case you were wondering why 10, why 2, what does this mean? Those are documented already in our learn.liferay.com.
Yeah, so for example, if I wanted to put more informations here in this method, for example, I think we have time to do that. But for example, I wanted to, in my capture REST controller, I wanted to put up in my authorized REST controller. I don't remember. I wanted to put another property for my payment entry. It's called note. I think it's note.
Yeah, note.
Note. Yeah, so for example, I want to put here, hello, where's Devcon? Let me see if it's right. Okay, so I'm going to save. I go into this is my Spring Boot application of my payment integration. It's running. I'm going to stop and rebuild and deploy again. Once I do that, every time that I redeploy, I have to set up the channel with the payment entry again. So I can also show you guys. Where's my Liferay log? I don't remember. I think I don't have the Liferay log running here, but okay. So let me show you.
Disable debug.
Oh, the debug is already because I started. Okay, I have to start the. I forgot to start Blade. So I'm running the Spring Boot right now with my payments integration. And then I can go to the Liferay commerce channels where I can see all the payment methods and then Devcon Google Payment Method Integration. I just enable it. I can also put all the configurations that I mentioned before, like the API gateways, secret, API key, etc., which will be in the context of my REST controllers. Liferay in the backend are going to send this information for me. And this information is the information that I need to connect to my gateway to authorize and capture my payment. So I save it. Okay. Once I get back to my store, I go, but I put it in the cart, select shipping method, payment, every time is working. Let's choose a discovery credit card. Alright, and if you go to the database, we can see the note, hello world Devcon. So this is pretty much regarding the payment integration. I don't know if you guys want to complement anything.
No,
but
that's
I
it.
think that's all.
Out of time.
Yeah.
Olaf will kick us out of the stage.
Yeah. So
But
thank you very
thank
much.
you, everyone.
That's it.
That's it.